for the side of Team Philippines, De La Cruz can also do so as well.
Yeah, there is also a potential turtle strategy, but they're banning out that glue, which is pretty interesting. Okay, so first pick for Singapore. Akai is on the table. Singapore might need to snap pick that up, or prioritize even a Claude for Keith right here. But there's just way too many heroes. You cannot single out any one of the members of Philippines.
Yep. Going to the bans. Phobia's Glue, Freya as well. You got the Juicing. That means that, definitely Team Philippines may be looking at an Akai pick as well, unless Team Singapore wants to snatch pick that away. There's also other heroes that you also need to look out for. There's also potential Claude, Paquito, and Arlot. These are your three heroes that, for the side of Team Philippines, especially for the side of Vinuya, can comfortably place. Now we're back to Whelan onto this Paquito, Akai, and also the Arlot enough set.
It might still be a little bit flex. Keith could also go into gold lane. We've seen Keith play it before in MPL SG, but against Philippines, man, this is, the Arlot. I felt like Singapore should have banned out the comfort hero of Vinuya, and Nipomuceno actually looks really happy about this one.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like right now it's just about playing the best, right? If you want to talk about playing the best, Roy also plays the Valentina, can potentially steal away the final slash and also the heavy spin. But there's also, if you want to play something of signature from the side of Roy, there's always the Kadita to find and blow people up to pieces. However, this particular patch, Kadita is not really favored because you've also got your jungler, tank utility junglers right now, who is kind of immune over the Kadita damage. Gord with the selection coming up the side of Team Singapore, and also the Baxia as well.
For Singapore, I don't think this changes too much. Paquito does have a little bit more damage, but facing up against the Arlot, it's going to be suffering a little bit, and Paquito only excels once he reaches his core power spike at level 4. Cho is getting picked up. De La Cruz really loves this hero. We've seen how the other regions play it as well. Very annoying, very disrespectful. Remember Hisham from Malaysia playing the Cho and playing just mind games for Singapore, so their entire jungle, their entire map is going to be pretty much open for the entirety of this game.
Look, I think Cho is definitely something that De La Cruz is very comfortable with, right? A similar playstyle, go in and go out, you give a lot of information. And remember why I said is, as we're going into Dangerous Grass, information is really king. So that's why the Cho really favored in this particular map. But for the side of Team Singapore, I think at the very least for the side of Roy, dropping the bombs to open up the grass could be a way to do it. But Baxia and Paquito for the side of Team Singapore, this means that they really want to play early. But Team Philippines, they also have the firepower to play early as well. With Arlot from the side of Vinuya, I think enough said. Every time I see Arlot, I remember Vinuya now at this point of time. And also with the Cho that could also just go in, dish damage, concussive blast, wave clear, and then move on.
He's just super comfortable with it, and he knows his main target. He's going to take out that Gord with the Mystic Gush. I think there's no way that Roy would have an easy field day on the back line. Lilia getting banned out. We want to give Roy an easier lane, get the early rotation as well. You see the Atlas being banned out from Philippines as well. Taking a look at the entire roster right here, it does look a little bit dire.
There's also the Eve that Team Singapore can also ban out for the side, for the last ban, the Lilia ban. Coming from the Team Singapore, okay, because the Gord is also very static. Carry ban coming out from the side of Team Philippines, a bit of a nod over to Keith as well.
I think forcing the Claude might be the best option for Philippines as well. Not too worried about the roam, because they understand how Bellamy likes to play around this, and De La Cruz is pretty confident with dealing and mirroring what Bellamy's movements are.
So for now, I think
winning lane.
It's about playing the best, right? Like Team Singapore, so far at the very least I can identify Whelan is back on one of his comfort picks. Yeah, and also potentially maybe want to shake up the whole thing, right? Rotate the Loi ban is very interesting. I was expecting more on the Yi
or
ban.
Even Valentina, to the respect.
I think Valentina for the side of Team Philippines, yes, still works as well, because you've got the Gord to basically take away that ultimate. Claude coming in for the side of Team Philippines, counter picking that away from Keith. Keith can also still go back to the Bruno as well. That's also something that he does play back in the good old days. And of course, we're looking for another pick coming from the side of Team Singapore. Khalid again?
Khalid, Harith, could be highly possible for them. Man, how do you want to break down it's not really about the draft at this point for me. It's about how do you want to play it around the map? How do you want to execute your gameplay in a more passive style and not give up pretty much the free kills? Because this draft is pretty much, you know, the main difference of the side of Philippines is they have choke. And this is going to be highly annoying in the early game. Ranger would be the answer, as well as the high loss throwing down the red carpet. And Valier coming in. Papico looking really happy about that.
Of course, if you're a Valier, you deal against the high loss, you're just gonna start constantly spamming the fireballs as well.
The Boxia too, man.
Boxia and the Paquito, you set out the steering turn on the wall. High loss at the very least, I can see how it can be used, the glorious pathway to basically slow down the retreat or also the advancement, and then everybody eats a gourd laser. I think that's okay. There's a lot of long range coming out from Team Singapore. To be honest, this draft from the side of Singapore, even for game number 1, is not too shabby either, but I feel like going into the game, the execution is where, you know, it's Team Singapore looking up at, you know, Team Philippines, which is at the top of this group and definitely needs a lot more support than this.
Well, you know, if you're an analyst, you're going to be saying, hey, Singapore has maybe a 0.01% of winning this game. But hey, it's in that 0.01%. The Singapore will go to work. This is game 2, Philippines versus Singapore. Will Singapore finally be able to take one game off, make a statement, or will Philippines steamroll over what was the fastest game that we've seen in game number 1?
I don't have the answer for that one. I need really have to see it first. Whoa. A lot of pressure coming up from Papico right off the bat. Mlbb, I think, already activating the revitalize. Papico with the flicker.
Because the flicker, Jinjiang finding angle. De La Cruz also utilizing the flicker. The damage coming in from Philippines right from the get-go and targeting onto Royven is pretty much expected. You have so much mobility from De La Cruz's Cho as well. Relun there in the vicinity, getting locked up, stunned up. De La Cruz, no flicker as well. Does have the shooting floor, does have the dash, but Relun will not let him go.
First blood over the side of Relun already, so that's okay, but that's just, you know, early game for now. De La Cruz is just a Cho currently. It's just De La Cruz's fault for giving the first blood over the side of Team Singapore.
Yep, Relun able to keep Venuya at bay down the bottom side as well. It's 40 seconds until the first turtle spawns, which will be a true test for Team Singapore and how they handle the aggression coming in from Philippines and their team fight prowess. And for Singapore, I wouldn't count that out just yet. There was slivers of success. De La Cruz hiding and within that bush. Taking a look at this one, I think it's just a stunt, a good call, a good rotation from Relun.
But hold on a second, Churros, there's a main fight happening as well.
In the mid side, Mlbb taking a little bit too much damage. The spin will push Jinjiang back. The jungle will fall. Papico as well. The boxer actually takes down the mid lane. Nepomuceno down low. Another one. Singapore showing signs of life in game number 2.
A bit of tempo that's sorely needed for the side of Team Singapore. Team Philippines taking 3 deaths, 3 casualties as well. And that's also even before the turtle as well. So which means that Team Singapore has a bit of a chance to go over to the turtle. And even Roy using Mr. Gus to try to finish.
The final slash, but Relun secures that turtle. Is down way too deep. Jinjiang loses his life. Relun will be able to dash out. He's got that level 4. Mlbb in too deep. Will be stunned up, locked out, slow it down. Waiting for the Goon Squad to end his life.
Yeah, that's the Valier that's really scary, like, right? And Papico on this Valier is just constantly stun locking the likes of Mlbb and the likes of, even to a certain extent, Jinjiang as well. So I think if you're a Team Singapore, you have to be very careful. Don't forget, even though early game, heavy spin.
That's lockdown of Jinjiang. The rest of the Goon Squad is right here. It's a 4-on-1. That's the collapse. As Philippines not happy about that team fight right before that turtle.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a sign of life that was given over to Team Singapore, but over the sudden Team Philippines, you know, wrestle that control all the way back for once. We don't really have a goal lead that's swinging in the favor of either side for now, but Team Philippines, you know, there is still the claw that's also scaling. Keith on the grandeur is also should be able to lane bully as well from far, and I really need to see a lot more coming out from Mlbb, right? Mlbb on this high loss to lead the charge to basically stun lock, and then after that providing Royven with the Mystic Gush.
Yeah, taking a look at optimizations. Looks like he is going for the Clock of Destiny first, at least a little bit of damage paired up with a sizable defense right in the early game, which is pretty much what they need. Singapore still staying healthy and staying on par with Philippines. A much better start for Singapore.
Yeah. Great start for now, but it seems like, you know, Team Philippines was able to stabilize that one. Looking to scale. We haven't seen Venuya really, you know, trying to find Relun as well, because Relun, you know, is a Paquito, does a lot of burst damage. It's something that Venuya must be a little bit careful. Jinjiang rolling, looking for a target to crash onto, but decides to back off.
It doesn't want to commit underneath that turret. That's way too risky. You have a a pretty good lead. You want to risk yourself right before this turtle. We're starting things up. De La Cruz knows where Weelun is. Jinxiang hiding himself. Bellamy takes the short side of the map. We're going to punish De La Cruz from coming in too deep, but he's a Cho. He will be able to skirt that out nicely. The red carpet lays down. Jinxiang finds an angle. The turtle gets a reset. It's all of the plans. It's Philippines. Toys with them. That's Binuya with the final slash, pushing them away. Mr. Gush will deal a lot of damage as Binuya gets sealed down underground by Weelun.
But at the very least, that's a Paquito in the early game, right? Albeit the total completely forgotten by both of these two teams. But Team Singapore was able to at least get one kill all the way down for the side of Binuya, trying to hold down the Arlot as Jinxiang picks up the second turtle.
It is in that 1.1% that Singapore will fight back. It's in that 1.1%. The Singapore still has that fight left. They're not going down without trying their best. This will be one of their last few games as Bellamy, no. He's in the wrong position, getting kicked back. He's slowed down. Bellamy delaying his death. The red carpet lays down, but a little bit too late. De La Cruz left all alone. Wolf skirt back out. Philippines just leading the charge underneath that turret, underneath the base, but on the back line, Weelun dealing a lot of damage. Mr. Gush comes in a little bit too late. Keep from back line, might be able to hit it. That is Weelun with the charge, with the jab, and with the flick of play.
Diablo.
Oh, Diablo still not on wood just yet. Nipopoceno will punish him for getting a little bit too deep. Let's make a kill from Nipopoceno. As Philippines lead the charge, you're not too happy about what Singapore has done to them.
At the very least, there's a bit of a trade coming in between both these two teams. To be honest, this is also Team Philippines playing a little bit weird as well, right? They're overcommitting a little bit too much over to the side of Team Singapore, but that's also because they're kind of expecting Royven on this guard to unleash the Mystic Gush earlier just now. Team Singapore literally gave Jinxiang and also Bellamy over to the side of Team Philippines, and now Team Singapore leading the siege up top.
Might be overextending though. Jinxiang makes a U-turn, take down that T1, getting out of there. Singapore got what they want. Philippines still on par, neck and neck with Singapore still.
Maybe they got the note from the producer, hey, too fast, game number 1. But of course, you know, game number 2 this time around, a lot more signs of life coming in. And this is a very awkward fight, right? Look at Royven's positioning.
Yep.
There's a lot of chance and opportunities for the fact that you can use the Mystic Gush, but maybe because they're afraid and they're also waiting for Weelun to come in to land down the punch. And after that, you can see Weelun with the flicker punch at the same time will be able to find Pipico's mark right there, pick up the killing spree, and now you've got a Paquito that is slowly scaling.
That is beautiful. And also, you have Nipopoceno way too deep into enemy territory. And like you said, overextending on that one. They was not aware that Weelun was around the vicinity. De La Cruz heading deep into the jungles, into the purple buff area. Turtle getting pulled out by Philippines. Bellamy giving that vision play. Jinxiang ramping up for that spin, ramping up for that roll. Royven a little bit too late. No Mystic Gush for now. As Philippines ramping up the charge, just pushing in back. Bellamy will be the first to fall though. Slowed down, stunned up, but buy some time for Team Philippines. That's the final slash on the 3. Singapore is in shambles as Philippines runs over them.
Yeah, I would say just Binuya running over there. The fight's not over
yet.
yet.
Look at Weelun on mid-side. He's pushing in. He's buying some time for Singapore. He's got that fight.
This is a very awkward game. I'm pretty sure Coach Aeon also would not approve of this kind of messy brawls that Team Philippines is throwing at Team Singapore. But at the very least, you know, Coach Aeon is definitely going to have a little bit of identity crisis right now.
Yep. At the very least, though, Singapore trying to find trades. At the very least, Weelun does have that damage, but he is on a timer. The longer this game goes, Philippines is constantly going to scale up. They're not going to only have to deal with Papico, De La Cruz, and Binuya. They're going to have to deal with a huge melting damage from Pilas.
Yeah, I think it's just that, you know, Weelun is trying to find an angle to come in, but the Glorious Pathway is used to basically pull back and retreat. Yep.
At least he knows that bottom side. I can't believe that this wasn't a replay. I thought we'd been here before, Jace.
Yeah, definitely, right?
Jinxiang, no. Oh, Weelun! With a 2-man hit up from that bottom side. Jinxiang's all left all alone right now. Nipopoceno already overextending, but it's 8 kills for the Sakai.
Look, if you want my expectations, I would say Weelun did a very good job earlier just now. You know, split pushing a little bit, put some pressure, put some flanks. So at least Weelun's doing a great job as a Paquito. But don't forget, Team Philippines is on a Skelicom.
There's a reposition. Won't be able to chase that one up. Binuya taking a lot of hits. Will be able to dash out. One more hit. One more hit. The long and Binuya gets out. The red carpet falls, but they don't want to chase it too much. They're going to push that situation. Pushing Bellamy all the way back. De La Cruz coming in. That's the kick. That's the jump. That's the stun up. That's Keith with the kill on De La Cruz.
The laser coming out from Roy and also Kiv land down the shot. I think more importantly is whether Kiv actually holds on to the Sky Piercer, because that's going to be definitely a good stack coming in. And don't forget, we've been here before, even in AGQ, right? Yeah, thank you very much. Sky Piercer stack is already here. And you know, we've been here before. When the Grandeur starts rolling with Savages and after that Maniacs because of the Sky Piercer stack stacking off over and over again. Yeah. this Granger may be a very scary Granger.
Papico forced to use the flicker, forced to use the ultimate. No major resource already utilized. De La Cruz very deep in. On the back, Benuya finding an angle for a final slash. He's holding on to that one. Jinsen's gets repositioned back all the way. No more box yet for this first Lord take. Singapore extended a little bit too far, Jace. Bellamy moving next to fall. They keep slowing him down.
Yeah, and that's the power of Papico and also the rest of the members from the side of Team Philippines, right? It's just a constant slow roasting of Team Singapore, one after another on top of with Papico and alongside with Pillars, of course, with the corrosive side already. There's nothing. Wait, he didn't even have it. My God.
For an extremely close fight where Singapore kind of won it out and equalized the economy line. Philippines economy scaling up. We haven't seen Pilas actually fully committing with the Blazing Duet or any of these big damage moves. He does have the Holy Trinity. Let's take a look at the replay to see what actually went down.
Yeah, I think it's just, you know, the overwhelming amount of damage that Pilas and also Benuya alongside with Nepomuceno. Nepomuceno is CC constantly stun locking onto Bellamy, and then after that it's just, you know, Royman already by the flicker. There's no way that the Gore, even though riding on a skateboard, you expect him to actually zoom, room, but he cannot actually run away.
What you can't run away from as well is the Lord marching from that top. It's Philippines trying to sync up that wave. Wilun trying to find any consolation that he can with the split pushes. I think that is the strategy that he wants to go for. As Nepomuceno keeping the bottom side busy. Lord being chauffeured upon by 4 members of Philippines on that top side. The crash will land. That's a final slash onto 2. A little bit too close for comfort right there. So Rick up gets laid down. But that's a lot of damage from Key on the backside. Nepomuceno pushing everyone back out. That's counter re-engage.
Great engage coming up from the side of Nepomuceno. Will be able to find the back line and then start pushing into...
Oh no, another one. The final slash on Wilun. He gets caught out. Keith still staying happy, still staying fine. That's an 11-minute game. He still have the minions on the mid side.
Being cleared out by the side. Keith flickers forward. Okay, that's going to be a Sky because of Pilas going in.
Pilas going in. He will seal the deal. That's the gold lane versus the gold standard. Philippines, they're pushing it in. Bellamy comes out, but there's nothing much that the Highlands can do. He still's got Royven though. Keith is still needed. It's 25 seconds of final slash once again, Jace.
Man, Benuya is finding all this final slash. It feels like, you know...
Mystic Gush. Already laid down, Bellamy. Taking a lot of hits. There's Pilas, no minions, no problem. They still got another fat wave coming in. There's 3 members out for Singapore and Philippines showing their discipline, getting the heck out of there.
Well, Nepomuceno was actually rubbing his nose just now as he's playing. You can see, hey, I just need one hand. But jokes aside, right, it's just Team Singapore right now has 2 open bays that they need to defend from. And I feel like there's 2 or 3 times that Benuya was able to find amazing final slash. This is Exhibit B. This is the second one already, right? Yeah, because don't forget, final slash, the cooldown is so short, and that's why Benuya was able to spam all across the board. And now with Keith right there, I think he definitely has to try to do something, right? Overcommitting over to that one, Pillars, also flickering, also finding that kill as well. So yeah, being able to deny Keith from building up the Sky Pizza stack is something that Team Philippines is looking to do.
I think for Singapore, they're giving away too many free kills over the Philippines. And for Singapore though, Nepomuceno almost getting caught out. There's the jump by Boxia. Philippines slowly pushing it in. They're 10k gold lead ahead. Singapore will not be able to contest for this. Lord will go over the hands of Philippines unless, you know, a miracle happens. But it's way too fast. Yep, that's the blitz. Philippines will pick that one up.
Yep, blitz it up very quickly. I would say it's a little bit difficult because definitely Team Philippines has already scaled, and now, okay, maybe this is the way they can do it.
A stun onto Nepomuceno, able to push Bellamy back. That's a counter re-engage. Philippines is so fast and so far ahead. There's the push back on the whip of the dragon. Bellamy gets caught out. He will be the sacrificial lamb once again. As Singapore on the defense, they cannot step foot out of this base.
Yeah, the Mystic Gush is already used as well. Bellamy, the sacrificial lamb, given over side Team Philippines already, and now there's a lot of marching in. Wilun trying to make a play right here, trying to look for a pick off.
Bottom side, but De La Cruz not too worried about this. He still has the immortality. Papico taking a lot of shots from Keith. The very least, Keith has that damage, but not a lot of defense. Bellamy's still out and about, still out of commission. That's the final stat once again. Benuya not expecting that at all. The burn will take Keith out. No damage for Singapore. 3 members down. Philippines will take the charge over the throne and take down game number 2 without just taking out the rest of Singapore with them.
Yeah, GG, well played over the side of Team Philippines and of course Team Singapore, right? Team Philippines, of course, firstly going up against the 8th seed, and you can start to see the gap between these two teams are huge. But of course, you know, GG, well played, I would say. There are several times, especially at the start of the game, the early game, there are several signs of life, to be honest, coming up from Team Singapore, right? However, Team Philippines